Hello, hello, my Ravens escapees. Happy Thursday. Today is Thursday, June 5th, I think. And I hope you're all having a wonderful day. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. And let's get into it today. So, today we are going to finish the tutorial on this, the bag we were making. I'm going to finish this bag on screen today, come heck or high water. We were here yesterday. So, our next step, before I get into chit-chatting about other stuff, you want to chain 2, and we're going to double crochet, because we didn't do that step. No, we just single crocheted yesterday. So now we want to chain 2, and chain 2, and then double crochet into each stitch around. So, Thursday. First off, let's talk yarn and stuff news. And then I have a little bit of a funny story from last night. So, let me sit back so you can see what I'm doing a little bit. So double crochet in each one around. So, let's just say it. So, of course, we all know Joann's closed. And I've been enjoying watching some YouTube videos, people talking about that, about them saying goodbye to their store. I didn't have any of that, but, and then, of course, they all closed by the end of May, which was, they said that the end of May was it for all the stores. Well, then, of course, beginning of June comes, and people get an email. And it's on their splash screen saying, news coming, news coming. And now, today, if you go to the Joann's website, it redirects you to Michael's. So, apparently, they're saying that Michael's bought out all the intellectual property and stuff from Joann's. Now, what that means, I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, something I do want to say, a lot of people seem to be confused that thinking Hirschner's bought the IP for Joann's, because they're selling because they're going to be selling big twists. But that's not what happened. They did not buy the intellectual property of Big Twist. Like, Hirschner's sells a lot of different brands of yarn. They have some of their Hirschner's brand, but they also sell a lot of other brands of yarn. So they're more like, they're not really a manufacturer, they're a distributor. So they did not buy the intellectual property of Big Twist. They are selling Big Twist. Because if you go on Mary Maxim's website, you can buy, now, Hirschner's has said that the only thing they have confirmed is they're going to sell the Big Twist Value regular skeins of yarn. They're going to have that. I haven't seen it on their website yet, so I don't think they're actually selling it yet. However, if you go on Mary Maxim's website, you can order the Big Twist Plus, which is the big skeins of Big Twist. Now, it doesn't come in a ton of colors. All right, so I finished that row. Now, our next row, we're going to do double crochet again, so chain 2. And now we're going to double crochet 2 into each around the row. So Mary Maxim has and again, Mary Maxim has a lot of different brands of yarn that they sell. So again, they're sort of like Hirschner's, where they're more of they're not a manufacturer, they're a distributor, So that's the, which of course Joann's was actually just a distributor too. However, Big Twist was an agreement that was exclusive with them. So that's what everybody does. I just have seen a lot of people who are confused about that. So Hersters didn't buy the intellectual property of Joann. From what, and again, I could be wrong on this, but from what I sort of understand is that Big Twist is like a brand name, and that, so now they're becoming, I don't know quite how with the whole bankruptcy and thing that the whole Big Twist name works, but I know the place that actually manufactures the yarn is still the same as when Joann's was making the Big Twist. It's the same manufacturer, but Hershers and Mary Maxim are just acting as distributors for the yarn. So that's what people, like I said, I've seen a lot of people who are confused, and it is confusing, and we don't know everything, obviously. Michaels puts this announcement up today, but what does that mean? Does that mean you're going to carry Big Twist? A lot of people are not happy about it. I've said before, I used to really like Michaels. I used to go there all the time and get a lot of stuff. But I'm going to say since COVID, I've not been impressed. I used to go in there and come out with a cart full of stuff every time, every single time. We spent, and my husband's a crafter, I'm a crafter, my kids are crafty. So when we would go to a craft store, it was not good on our checkbook, you know what I mean? My husband always got projects he's working on and different things. He doesn't do, now he's doing crochet, but he didn't used to do crochet and stuff, but there was still other stuff that he would buy there. I was always looking for something new to try. And then of course, when the kids, we would get beads and make bracelets and necklaces, and we would get all the different kinds of kids craft kits and do tie-dye. And especially in the summers when my kids were younger, we were constantly crafting something. We would get those foam crafts and do that. At one point they were sewing their own felt stuffed animals and stuffing them, and I was just helping a little bit with that. They were learning how to make, like they said, they made stuffed animals. They bought felt and stuffing, and we cut it and sewed it and just made characters one year. We were constant craft store people, and we would go in there and come out, you're like, we have a good coupon, and you're like watching the total, well, we still have a good coupon, right? And then of course my husband, and this is talking about Michaels, my husband we're huge Halloween fans. The holiday fans, and the movie, but Halloween, the holiday, we love Halloween. And so many years ago, Michaels started carrying, Lee Max, who does the Christmas villages, started up a Halloween village setup called Spooky Town. And of course, being Halloween, that we love Halloween, my husband started collecting Spooky Town when it first started coming out, like I said, from Lee Max. And Michaels has partnered with Lee Max, and they have, so every year, I'm sorry, I'm not showing you this, they have Michaels exclusive buildings for the Halloween Town collection, the Spooky Town collection. And so, of course, every year we would go up there a couple times on Halloween to get, we'd go up there first when they put the stuff out so that he could get the new stuff, some new stuff. And then of course, later, as it got closer and closer to Halloween and they start discounting it more and more, then we get the more expensive stuff if they still had it. You know. But even that, like, you know, when we first started collecting the Spooky Town, and they still do the Spooky Town collection every year and have Michael's exclusives. But, like, you would go up there and it would be a big display and there was all kind of stuff. And now you go up there and there's just a couple things. So, and same with, like, their yarn selection. You know, every time you go up there, it's like, well, all right, I'm slip stitching together and we're going to do one more after this row of double crochet in each. We're going to do 2 double crochet in each stitch, okay? So chain 2, double crochet in each stitch. Yeah, so, you know, we used to go up there all the time. Like, there's one, it's not super close to us, but it's about a half hour away. Not even, maybe 20 minutes. And so we used to go up there a lot and get a lot of, we spent money up there. But then, you know, like I said, the yarn, you know, there's never enough, like, there's always empty bins. Always empty bins. And then there's never enough yarn to, like, make a project. Other than like a hat or a scarf, you know, like if you actually wanted to get enough yarn to make an Afghan, unless you're doing like 20 different colors, there's not enough of any yarn to do that, which was not the case at Joann's, which, you know, again, a lot of people like that more because, like, you could go to Joann's and there was at least, I mean, not every color, obviously, but a lot of the things you could get 5 or 6 different colors, you know, or skeins of each color at least, which is enough to do something with. Where so many times at Michael's, it's like there's 1 left in the thing or 2, and the most you find is like 3. It's like, well, what am I going to do with that? You know, a lot of the stuff I do takes more than 3 skeins. So, yeah, so I mean, that's been disappointing. And then, of course, they used to, I don't know, it just, the whole vibe of that store it changed. I used to find so many cool things there. I used to find a lot of really good, like, craft kits for the kids. And they still have some, but and, like, the decor, I used to love to get, like, some of their decor, which they do still have, you know, a nice arrangement. I do like especially their Halloween decor. And they always have some fun summer decor. But again, like, sometimes you go up there and it's like, okay, like, my husband's aunt lives real close to the store. So a lot of times, like, she would have a picnic, like, say on Memorial Day or 4th of July. When we were going up to her house, we literally had to pass Michael's. So we would go early and then stop at Michael's and then go to her house because she lives, like, less than 2 minutes away. So, you know, so it would be like Memorial Day, so May, and you're like, oh, I wonder what, you know, you're just getting the patio ready. You know, it's not even June yet. You're starting to, you know, you're just getting into that summer outdoor vibe, ready for picnics and stuff. And you go in there and it's like half the summer stuff's gone. Like, there isn't hardly any summer stuff. Like, that always bugged me. And, I mean, I know they put stuff out early, but, you know, you would go into the section and there's like one of this, one of that. It just looked like empty all the time. And like I said, in May is when, you know, you think everybody's getting ready for summer. Everybody's starting to have people over and invite people. So you're going to, you know, brighten up your patio or your porch or whatever. And they just don't. I don't know. It's disappointing. So, like I said, it's for them to take over Joann's stuff. A lot of people are like, ugh. And I have to say, I thought the same thing. I was like, ugh. You know, at least when I thought Hershner's was, when we thought, originally when the news broke that they thought Hershner's was taking it over, I was like, well, I mean, Hershner's has been around for a really long time. I forget how long. It's been a really long time. And I've been ordering from Hershner's forever. I mean, like, I remember, I think I told you before, my dad was a cross-stitcher, and he used to order stuff, well, he used to get their catalogs in the mail years and years ago, you know, and I ordered from, I mean, I'm old enough that I ordered from their catalog many times. And in fact, they had, they used to have this frilly yarn that they had, that I used to look in the, I don't know, sometime in the earlier 2000s. I made all these scarves, and I was ordering tons of stuff from them. So here, see how our bag's turning out? Our little trinket bag. Now, again, if you don't want this as big, you can just do one row. I thought I'd do 2 rows. You could just do 1 row. You can do 2 rows. You could do single crochets or half double crochets to make it not so big. I just thought this one is so whimsical and fun. I do 2 rows of it to make the top a little bigger. All right, so we're almost at the end. So that's the big crafting news today. Michael's might be taking over Joann's stuff. And it does mention crocheters and knitters in the email that they sent out. So, and they did say, and I've heard this from, I've seen this online, and I've heard it from people that Michael's has been saying they are going to up their yarn game. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, the other disappointing thing, hold on, let me give you. So the other disappointing part with Michael's is their website and their app are terrible. Now, people complain about Joann's website and Joann's app, and it had its faults. Don't get me wrong. It was not perfect. I struggle with it sometimes, and, you know, you did get your order canceled sometimes because they ship from their stores, and without, you know, like, you would order stuff and then you'd wait 2 weeks and then they would say, oh, sorry, we're out of this, you're not getting it. You know, they had their faults, don't get me wrong. But Michael's, theirs is, I mean, it's hard to even navigate. And now they added all these third-party sellers, and I don't like using it. I don't like ordering from Michael's. I order everything online. I'm a huge online shopper, you know. I do not like the struggle of going to stores anymore. I'm with most everybody else. I shop almost exclusively online for things. I mean, clothing, you know, Amazon comes all the time. I'm an onliner, and I shop all kind of stores, all kind of stuff. And Michael's is just not user friendly. And like I said, now they have all these third party sellers on there, and you got to watch. You know, I don't know. I agree. I'm not thrilled if Michael's is taking over Joann's stuff. Unless they really clean up their business model and they clean up their website, their app. I mean, they have an app, and it's still hard to figure out what the heck you're getting, you know. And I've ordered from them online and gotten this stuff. I mean, it hasn't been super easy, to be honest. And there's another thing that kills me with Michael's is, so they have their, I forget what it's called, professional thing going on where they want you to, well, okay, so let me preface this with this. I'm a member on Michael's Maker Place, so I do have an online shop on Michael's on Maker Place. So you can actually go online, like my Etsy store, and buy my products on Michael's. They presented as this, like, alternative to Etsy with less fees and all this jazz. So I've invested so much time into making stores on there. And to be honest, I was making some sales. I was making a decent amount of sales on there. And then all of a sudden, crickets. They stopped putting anything into it. Didn't discuss it with, like, And the worst part was they were sending me emails, like, for feedback and stuff on the Maker Place, and then all of a sudden, like 2 months ago, crickets. And now I haven't made a sale on there since. And everybody that I've talked to online is like, yeah, we think it's dead. They're focusing on other stuff, which is probably this Joann stuff and the Party City stuff now. So thanks. But what I was getting at was, so Michael's, like, has professional packs, which is something that in the yarn I was surprised at. Like, everything else I do, like, I make soaps for my shop too. We're going to talk about them soon because I have some cool stuff going on with that. But, like, I make soaps, okay? So the soap I get from a wholesale distributor because I'm a business. So I can get it from a wholesaler. I get it in bulk. It doesn't look super fancy when I get it. Half the time the box store pick it up, but it's wholesale. I get it from a manufacturer. I pay tons less than what you would go to, like, say, Hobby Lobby or something, or Michael's and get it for. It's a much higher quality than what you get at a craft store, like, much higher. I've tried both, and oh Lord, there's no comparison. So I get my supplies from wholesalers. I get all my different, like, my colorants, my scents, stuff. I get those all from wholesale suppliers because I'm a business. And, like, wax melts. I make wax melts. Same deal. I get the scents from wholesalers. I get the wax from wholesalers because I'm a business. I can order from wholesale. So I pay less and get it's a lot of times, like, if you go to a craft store or something and you want to buy the ingredients, they package them for just somebody who's, like, dabbling with it. Where when you're selling it, we're actually selling it professionally, like, as a business, they have higher quality, higher rated stuff. It's not the crap you get in the craft kits that you get at the craft store. It's, they, like, if you ever get into actual, like, candle making and wax melts and stuff, the amounts of kinds of wax is like, oh my. You have to do so much research and so much testing and stuff to get to, like, find actually what your, I had only ever I had made candles a bunch of times. I bought stuff at Michael's, or I forget where I bought stuff the one time. And, or AC Moore or whatever, and made candles in jars or whatever, or oils that I bought. I dabbled with it. Well, and then when I decided to make wax melts, I of course wanted to get, like, I wanted to have a higher quality wax. I wanted to make, getting into it, like, oh my God, there are so many kinds of waxes. There are so many different places that make them. There's so many blends of this and that. Are they hard? Are they soft? Are they this? Are they melting point, flash points? And you have to learn all these different things of scents and flash points and melting points. And then wicking. Oh my God, wicking with candles is a whole other thing. Like, there's so many kinds of wicks, cores, types, lengths. It's not for the faint-hearted. So, but what I'm getting at is when you get to yarn, there's nowhere to get, like, wholesale yarn. Like, I've looked and looked and looked. There's nobody that caters to a business that's not going to sell yarn. You know what I mean? There's nobody catering wholesale to, like, professional crocheters, knitters, and stuff like that. Which is crazy. There really isn't. So when Michael said they were going to start selling things for businesses, I was all excited. Like, oh, good. That's going to be kind of like my wholesale experience. No, it's not. They offer pro picks or like stuff like that and pro packs. But the real kicker with those is, and I hate complaining about companies, but this really upset me. Like, because I got all these because I was buying a lot of stuff, and again, I was on their Baker Place. You know, they were like, oh, look, we're going to have these pro packs and, you know, stuff for professionals. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. It's going to be, you know, to help your business. And they send these emails like, this is promoting your business, to help your business out. You're going to be able to do things at a better cost. And when I tell you the discount that they give, and you have to buy big packs of yarn, so like minimum of 10 to 12, I think some of them are 10, some of them are 20 skeins, which is no problem because I can go through 20 skeins of yarn in no time. But and then they tell you, well, you get it at a discount price, which is nice. I mean, and there is a discount if you look at the regular skeins of yarn and the price that you pay for the wholesale. There is a difference. Or their pro picks. It's cheaper by a minimal amount. The real problem lies in they have sales all the time and coupons. Well, you can't use the coupons or the sales on any of their pro picks. So it's cheaper to buy individual skeins of yarn at the coupon price or the sale price than it ever will be to buy it bulk on their wholesale. You know, by leaps and bounds. Because like, say for like a 10 pack of yarn, and say the skeins are like $9.99 a piece retail, they'll sell them for like, oh, these are $9.75 a piece. Which, again, if you're buying at like for a business, for wholesale prices, you know, even smaller discounts add up. You know, like, you know what I mean? So like you're saving so much, but that'll, if you're buying a lot of things, that ends up being a nice amount of money. But when every sale they have and coupon they put out, which is weekly, I can get the yarn cheaper if I buy individual skeins and use the coupon. Why on earth would I buy your pro pack? You're not giving me a discount that's worthwhile. Ugh, drives me nuts. Okay, so here we are. I just slip stitched into the top, and we are going to cut our yarn. Snippy, snippy. Okay. Now, where we're at is where you need to make a decision as to what kind of bag you want this to be. So, there's two options that I like. So you can either do a string that will hang from your belt. So like do your drawstring, because it's going to get a drawstring. We'll do that in a minute. But you can do a drawstring that will hang from your belt, or you can do a drawstring and then put a belt loop on the side so that it hangs from the side on your belt, and then, you know what I mean? Like, so it would hang like this on your belt, straight up and down, or you can have the drawstring where it's going to actually like hang down. Both are I don't know which, I mean, I like both kinds. So, but what makes the difference for me is what that I want to talk about. So, if I do a drawstring different depending which way I'm going to do it. So if I'm going to do the drawstring which hangs, which I think we're going to do, I'll show you that way. Now, if I do the belt bag, I put just a single strand of yarn through, and then use a bead, like a silicone bead closure. Because, here I can show you. I have in here. So when I do mine with, that'll hang on your belt, I do a thicker cord so that when it hangs, it has some substance to it. The cord has some substance to it. But, let me find my other bag here. Oh, there it is. But if I'm going to do the, like, see, this is the belt hang. So I don't want this loose. Okay? That's the difference. So this drawstring is very loose. This thick one. See how easily it is to... But that's okay because it's going to be hanging, so it'll close itself. Why I don't like using the loose one if it's going to be on the belt bag is because if you're walking, this can loosen up and open up and potentially your things could fall out. And I don't want that. So, and I'm just trying to show you guys different ways to do this. On this one, like that has the belt loop, I use just a single strand of yarn, and then I use one of these silicone beads. You can get all kind of, these are really easy. And then I tie the end, and this one I put a flip on. You don't have to do that. You can just put a knot. But see, the silicone bead will keep your yarn. It's not slippy. So when you close it, it stays closed even when you're walking around. When you're walking around. See, the bead keeps it closed so that it doesn't open like the other one did. So your stuff doesn't fall out, you know. So that's something I've come up with. I know other people do it different, but I like this. So these are just, I got these on Temu. They're just a silicone bead. You can get round and all kind of different colors and things. This one looks like, I just like this one. And then, like I said, it's like stiff on the yarn, so it holds it, and it'll hold it closed. So at this point, that's what you kind of have to decide. Do I want the kind that hangs on the belt, or do I want one with just the regular drawstring closure? You know, I think this one we're gonna do the drawstring. So all I do is yarn again, and we're gonna just make a chain, and that's all we gotta do to whatever length you want for your drawstring. Okay. Oop. Sometimes this works, you know, sometimes all right, so we go just make our chain. To whatever length we want. And then I just sort of put it around, see where we're at. Because like I said, you want a little extra so that these hang. This is going to be about good for this one. It's like this. See it? So I'm just going to cut the yarn. Slip it through. Okay. And then you want to find that double crochet row we did. And you just want to, there's my double crochet row. You want to just start weaving your drawstring in between those. I like to do 2 at a time. I find that works the best. Like if you go in between 2, I know it's kind of hard to see. And you can use your hook for this too. I just like using my fingers. Going 2 at a time. In, out, until you come around to the other side. This yarn is hard to see. Because it is so busy. Although I think it's super fun. All right. Another one. Going around. It's like I said, I do 2, every 2 double crochets, I weave it in or out. Just with my fingers. You can use a hook. You could even put a needle on the end if you would prefer. I just do it with my fingers because that's what I like to do. All right, so here we come back to the beginning again. All right. So now I got my 2 ends together. They met up. I just tie them in a knot, and then I will weave the ends into the braid. Just like you do in your regular project. So now you can see you have, I pull it from some other place, the drawstring that it'll hang from. That's all there is to it. Gotta weave in all my ends. Everybody's favorite part, right? I don't mind doing it. I really don't. I know some people absolutely hate it. I do not. I don't mind it. It doesn't take me that long. So, but that's our bag. See? All finished. Well, except for weaving in the ends. But, and then it just opens. You take it off and you can open it up and all our trinkets go in there. So if anybody has any questions, if I didn't explain something, it's my first time trying to show this. I know I didn't show it. Like I said, I kind of showing people that already really crochet a lot. It's not really a beginner tutorial. If anybody's interested in me doing like a beginner tutorial on that, I definitely could, like, or I could just show you my hands where we're doing it and I could show you how it's done. I would gladly do that. Or if there's something else you guys are interested in, let me know in the comment section. I mean, I will gladly, I just thought I'd show you how I make a trinket bag. It doesn't take very long. And they're super fun. And you can make them in any color, any style. You can even change colors. I've done some that I've changed colors in. It's super fun to do a contrasting color for the pull string if you have a not crazy colored one. You know, I've done some just, well, I do dice bags like with the brown, and then I do like a gold pull. You can do it any color you want to. And you can, like I said, you can change these. You can do whatever size you want. This is the size that I like. Something like this. I think it's just the right size. You can put a lot of like trinkets and things in there, but you can also, if you'd like to use it for, like say a credit card, you know, it still will fit. Making sure this is the one that doesn't have my information on it. Yeah. So like you can just, so if you wanted to put your cash or credit cards and ID and stuff, these still work great for that. I like to make sure that they are the right size for whatever somebody needs. You know, obviously they're big enough you could put your chapstick in here and a few little things if you're looking for it. Or trinkets for trading, however you want to do it. look really cute on hanging on your belt. You know, you can have them hanging from all sorts of things, but they do look really cute hanging from your belt. So, all right, so we talked Michael's, we finished our bag. Yay! Yay! It's done. I gotta weave the ends in, but I don't feel like doing that right this moment. I will do that as soon as I let you guys go. I hope you guys have a great Thursday. I hope it is just wonderful in your world. If it's not, that's okay too. I'm here for you. Giving you a big hug. If it's good, then yay. If you know, whatever you're doing today is do something nice for yourself. Smile at least once. Try. Even if it's the worst day, try to smile about something stupid. Oh, I'll have to tell you tomorrow. I completely forgot to tell you about my husband and his friends playing. Remind me tomorrow. I got to tell you about them playing Fortnite last night. It was hilarious. I will tell you about it tomorrow because I wanted to go on my Michael's rant today because I just saw that and I thought we needed to chit-chat about it. So I appreciate each and every one of you for coming. I love you all. Choose love every day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.